looking back. Raven, so that's...
Hindsight's 20/20.
Hindsight is 20/20, baby.
How many people do you think have made that joke this year?
A good amount. I feel like I didn't hear that joke until, like, mid-quarantine. And I was just kind of like, I'm glad I made it this long. Like, you know, just kind of had a moment of, like, okay.
See, I was just, like, dissociating, watching every season of Gossip Girl for the first time, made a drinking game. We could review it. We could play it. No, we can't play it. We could review it. I made a Gossip Girl drinking game that is sure to kill even the heaviest of drinkers.
Perfect. I'll have to find some.
I'd never seen Gossip Girl before. Watched the whole fucking thing. Rewatched H2O and Mako Mermaids.
Okay.
Rewatched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Long story short is I just rewatch basically everything.
Yeah, I rewatched other things, but like not those things. But that's also what I did was just rewatched things. It's including I just finished Mindhunter again, which.
What is Mindhunter?
It's so good. What are you talking
Was
about?
that the synopsis?
Yes.
Was that noise?
Yes. Mindhunter is, if there's 2 seasons and it's on Netflix, and it is a slightly exaggerated retelling of the first detectives in the FBI to create the behavioral analysis unit. It's the first 2 detectives to coin the term serial killer. Okay. And start doing research into them.
So like what, in the 70s?
Yeah. So it's about the mid-70s, or even about the mid-70s, and it's like this older detective whose name is Tench, and he's like kind of a bigger, older, very typical cop dude. Okay. And then there's the younger one who... Did you ever watch Glee?
No, fuck Glee.
Okay.
That's one where I'm comfortable saying, fuck that show.
No.
I will never watch Glee, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
I was friends with a lot of theater kids, and so there was like 2 years where whenever we were having theater parties or whatever, they would like have it on in the background and blah, blah, blah. Get over it.
I can't relate. I'm not judging you, but I cannot relate.
Oh, well, yeah, they would like play it and be like, oh, yeah, like, yeah. And they had a lot of food at their house, so I was not going to complain.
Free food, Glee, I'm in.
Food. It doesn't matter. The only reason I brought it up is because, sadly, one of this other detective who's on the show, so he was on Glee for like 2 or 3 episodes as a love interest. Okay. And I remember when I saw him in an episode and was like, he is fine. Like, he was very fine. And now he's on this show and he's playing like a detective. And so that was the only correlation there is that like one time he was on Glee. I thought if you had seen it, it would make sense.
No.
Great. So I'm glad that's taken care of. So, and then he's like the younger, you know, enthusiastic freaking puppy dog detective that's like, I want to like solve everything. Yeah, who's like adorable, but also like really over enthusiastic. And the old cop's like, gotta get back at it again, you know. But then there's also
I'm like
Dr.
exhausted
Wendy
by that
Carr.
trope, but it's also like
but this is
like
a
staple.
It's good. Mm-hmm. And then there's Dr. Wendy Carr, who's like she's a professor of psychoanalysis and like the brain. And the brain.
Like Donald Trump.
The brain.
She's an expert on the brain.
She knows everything about the brain.
She knows things about the brain that no one else knows, folks.
She knows more than China.
What?
China.
Oh,
it's
China.
How he says China.
China. Okay, enough. Stop.
Don't even bring it attention.
Done.
Anyway. She's super great and like very fierce and like 3-piece suits, like does not take these boys bullshit. Okay. Like, love her. Okay. So yeah, they get shoved in the basement of like the FBI and they're like, fine, you can conduct these interviews with people that have been known to be serial killers.
I'm not yawning because it's boring. I'm not yawning because it's boring. I'm yawning because I only sleep 4 hours a night. I promise.
I just knew it was going to be funny. Okay. So, yeah, the premise...
Is this like a Silence of the Lambs kind of vibe? Like a reporter goes in to interview serial killers?
So they go and, like, interview serial killers. But the thing about... that were, like, popular at the time. And then the B plot of
popular
the whole...
at the time?
Well, I'm saying, like just got put into prison. Like, these are, like, brand new cases.
It's just you said it like they're, like... Hannah Montana.
Like, they were popular back then.
You know, Jeffrey Dahmer, he was really popular.
Quentin Gacy was a household name.
Is he not anymore?
My household. Okay.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
No, it's okay. It's okay, but this is a good, like, examples, because I can show you a couple pictures. So they go and interview these serial killers, and it's great because we all know the stories. It's a little bit slow on the very first. Okay, so here are our characters.
Oh wait, yeah, you did. I remember you showing me that, like, you were like, the serial killers are so well cast, they look exactly like the real thing.
Yes. Okay, I have ran your brain about this.
Okay, yeah. I've seen the first episode, I think.
Yeah, that's the young cop, that's, like, the older cop, and that's Dr. Wendy.
Why am I into all three of them?
Exactly. It's just Daddy, Son, and Holy Spirit right there.
It is? Oh my god.
I know. So yeah, the reason it's great is because if you're into true crime, like we can be, you get stories from killers you already know the stories of, but it feels very inside. And also, like, every time that I think something in this show is like, oh, that must be an exaggeration of what actually happened, I, like, go and look it up, and I'm like, no, that's, like, the exact dialogue, or that's the, and it's really cool. But yeah, this was a character, who is my favorite story, but Ed Kemper, and it
rings a bell.
Oh, he looks just like him, and it's terrifying. But most recently, and probably more recognizably, they did Manson.
Is that a lace front?
On him?
Yeah.
Probably.
Do you think that's a real beard?
Yes it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
He looks very similar.
He looks so similar, and he acts he, like, moved just like him, and the way he spoke is just bone-chilling, and, like, it's not okay. And turns out this guy actually is, like, a professional Manson impersonator. And
exists?
Yeah, and is gonna be playing him in some, like, Manson full movie. But that got me thinking, like, what if that was your life? What if your whole life was just being a Charles Manson impersonator? What do you do?
Would you actually go insane?
Are your gigs always that intense?
What kind of gigs do you do?
What kind of gigs do you get? Are you getting some, like, BDSM shit, understandably? Are you getting some... Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, there's something wrong with being Charles Manson. But, like...
I just never thought of it.
I know, but I'm saying, like, some people make it their whole lives to be... Okay, so this is a good thing. Yeah, I am. I was once in a horror film. Okay?
Can we review that?
I've never seen it. Okay.
Wait! Stop! Stop!
Like a really bad one, okay? And
I need to know everything. What's it called? When was this? What was your character? Did they pay you?
If we review it, I'll tell you more.
Who
if we
produced
figure it out.
What's it about? What's the plot? Can I have a synopsis?
The thing is, the answers are gonna make you filled with glee.
Okay, this is a topic for another video. Save it. Save it all.
There's one portion that I have to bring up for now because it's really relevant.
Okay.
In this movie, one of the main characters... Okay, he's a Johnny Depp lookalike, okay?
Wait. Okay. No, stop, go ahead.
So that's his whole life, though. He spends his whole life impersonating Johnny Depp. Now, it was a really weird life story. It was really interesting, actually.
Did he play Johnny Depp in the movie? Or was he just, that was like a side hustle?
He has not stunt doubled. He has doubled for Johnny in something. Like I said, it was like once.
Okay.
But his whole thing is that instead, what he does is he makes, like, appearances for Johnny sometimes. Or just for people in general.
Like when celebrities hire, like, a body doubles to, like, go out so paparazzi follow them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, he's done stuff like that. He has done plenty of, like, shows and stuff where he just like plays Jack Sparrow and shows up at a children's hospital or plays.
Okay.
So like he does like nice stuff like that too.
Do you think celebrities hire body doubles to do charitable things like that instead of having to go themselves?
Oh,
like
probably.
Like when Tom Holland goes to like the children's hospital dressed up in a Spider-Man costume, do you think that
it's actually Tom Holland?
Do you think it's actually him, or did he hire a body
You know
double?
what? I don't want to disgrace Tom Holland.
And then they just like CGI his face and like dub the voice so it like looks like he really went, but he doesn't actually have to go.
The thing is, I don't want to disgrace
that's a very celebrity thing
either
to do.
Tom Holland or Johnny Depp, because I know that especially in Johnny Depp's case, charitable things, like, he goes out of his way to do some real charitable shit.
I'm just saying.
But I do think that probably happens.
As a Slytherin, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying, I feel like there are some celebrities who would be like, I want to, like, do a PR stunt, but, like, I don't want to have to do it.
Yeah. No, I think that definitely happens. I also think, though, so the reason I brought this up is because, like, that's his whole life, though, is if Johnny does something, like, he does that thing. Like, if Johnny gets a tattoo, he gets that tattoo. If Johnny decides that he's going to keep the capped teeth from Pirates of the Caribbean, like, has gold capped teeth. I probably shouldn't say his name.
Don't dox him.
Don't dox him.
Don't dox him.
Okay, but he will also have gold teeth. And, like, it's just, I mean, there are some things that you can, you know, take out and put in and whatever. Like, I think some of the tattoos, most of them are real. But yeah, he's been on a celebrity show where celebrity look-alikes were on a reality show together. He does stuff where people want, like, celebrity look-alike.
I feel like that brings into the tattoo specifically, brings in, like, an ethical question of, like, tattoo copying. Like, is that okay? Is that okay?
Is any of it okay?
Is anything okay?
Is anything okay?
Is anything okay?
But is any of that okay even?
It's 2020. Nothing's
like,
okay.
Who's watching a reality show about celebrity look-alikes? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, like, dox this show either or, like, be shitty about it, but I'm just saying, like, at what point has the content gotten to, like, these aren't even the people that you think... Like, this is just 5 people living in a house together that are constantly doing impressions. That's
kind of funny, though.
If it was marketed to me that way, I would be more inclined to watch it.
How is it marketed?
People are stoked about the idea of what's, like, so there was, like, a Britney Spears lookalike on the show, and so then Johnny Depp and no, it wasn't Derek Barry, but it's a different one. But
would have been better.
I get it.
Would have been cooler.
But then, like, there was a picture of Johnny and Britney, like, hanging out in the pool, and so people are like, we love that because what if they really were? Like, it's so weird.
I'm not into that, but I am into the idea of a lot of people whose job it is to impersonate celebrities living together as if they were the celebrities. Not in like a, oh my god, but like, what if like the real ones did it? But like in the fact of like, these are not the real ones. This is not Johnny Depp and Britney Spears. These are impersonators.
What if, no, that's too far.
Wait, say it, and if it's bad, we'll cut it out.
No. At some point, we do have to make a little, like, hey, next video.
Okay, fine.
I mean, we could probably insert it at an earlier point if there's a different point that we could break, but,
I think I feel like it would be a lot like watching Untucked, where it's like, these people dressed up as other people.
Yes.
Are all just being messy.
The thing is, I would watch the Untucked of that celebrity reality show.
No, but that's the whole, it's like Big Brother, but everyone's job is to impersonate someone.
That was this show.
But like, okay, I'm explaining this really badly.
I'm just saying that, like, that...
Maybe it's just because I don't know the show. Maybe if I saw the show, I'd be like, yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Maybe that's the show we have to watch.
Maybe.
This reality.
Fuck. I'm just picturing, like...
I wonder if there's, like, a name.
I'm picturing someone who's not Johnny Depp, pretending to be Johnny Depp, pretending to be Jack Sparrow, and interacting with other people who are pretending to be a celebrity.
At some point, possibly, if I can ever find it, we will watch
the
horror film that I was in. Please.
I, like, want to know everything, because I didn't know this was... I've known you for a year, and I didn't know this was a thing. Why do you like Jason Nash. You, like, say you don't have any stories, but then you have stories.
When did I ever say I don't have stories?
No, it's just, like, you act like... I'm just a normal girl. Ah.
My whole thing is like, I'm an open book. But the questions that you have to ask to get to that point are so
weird and specific.
Niche and weird. Yeah, like,
hey man, have you ever been in a movie?
Be like, yeah. Well, see, I was imagining the question even harder, where it's like, Amanda, have you ever been in a B-rate horror movie that never went anywhere? Like, yes. Did you play a 30-year-old woman when you were 19? Also, yes. Was it really weird? Yeah, it was really weird. Are there 5 different plot points? Of course.
I can't believe this is real.
Did it take place in the one of the most haunted places? Yes. Did I spend the night there? Yes.
Can we go there? Can you show me?
Not as much as I could have at the time. I don't know. I recently watched a King of the Hill episode about this the other day, where it's like parents kind of sometimes assume that like you're going to learn this at school or through teachers, and then teachers assume that you're learning it at home, and it's like this weird cycle of sometimes you get to like upper high school and you're like, wait, what's that? What is that? That's something everyone does, or whatever it is. Like, you're like, what?
Not even, for me, it wasn't like, excuse me, what? It was like, oh yeah, this is probably normal. Move on. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, oh yeah, it's just how things are. Cool.
That's accepted.
Cool, alright. And I don't ask any questions. I'm just going to keep on being a 10-year-old. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, oh yeah, it's totally normal for adult men to slow dance with pregnant teenage girls in their fucking houses alone while their wives are at work.
Oh.
That's what happened in Juneau.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. That does happen.
It's totally normal for a teenage girl to hang out with the man that she's going to give her baby to without supervision and just like give each other like mixtapes. No, it's not okay. It's not normal.
I don't like that.
It's not okay.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch
Life
it again.
imitates art. Not that I was like a pregnant teenager in a relationship with the adoptive father of my child, but like
no.
But like it explains some things that I never questioned until I was an adult.
Okay.
Because no one explained to me that it wasn't okay for grown men to be hitting on me as a 10-year-old.
True. Yeah. That's true.
And no one stopped it when it happened. And now I'm 20, almost 23, and I'm just like, oh, this affected me.
I'm like, oh.
No.
Wow.
Oh God.
Oh, so jailbait isn't some nice, cute term.
So it's not a compliment?
Wait, that's not what I should have been being called?
Yeah. It's weird how, like, as... I read a book recently. Maybe this is a topic for another video also. But I read a book recently called My Dark Vanessa. Okay. Which, like... Oh, it's such a good book. I read it in, like, a week. It's, like, 360 pages. I've never read a book so fast.
Brag.
It was, like... It's, like, a page-turner, but it's hard to fucking read. There were parts where I, like, had to set it down. And it's about this 15-year-old girl who... basically develops a sexual relationship with her teacher who's like in his 40s. Okay. And it takes place in like 2000. She goes to like a boarding school and he's her English teacher and like she has no friends, so like she's like a very easy target. Yeah. And he like gives her books to read and like drops like little references, like little things,
creepy things.
You know what I mean?
Little
and she's like trying to figure out
quotes.
What does this mean? Does he want me to go further? What am I supposed to say? What is like the mature thing to say? Yeah. And not even like what do I feel comfortable with, but like, what does he want to hear from me? What do I need to say to get this attention that I'm not getting anywhere else because my parents ignore me and I'm in boarding school and I have no fucking friends. And he gives her like a copy of Lolita, and like it's just. But like as a 15-year-old girl, I was so much like her. It would have been so easy for some old creepy man.
That's the thing, is when you're like 15, you're dreaming of being older and you're dreaming of like amazing, cool, romantic gestures and things. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I can tell you, even at 28, I can tell you that, like, that's so transparent, like, and I'm not 40 or whatever else, but like, the idea of doing that to someone who literally has no idea outwardly, it's you know exactly what you're doing. It's so fucked up.
Even like the idea of at 23 dating like a 19-year-old, even a 20-year-old, someone under 21, I'm like, no. We're in different life arenas at this point. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not even the age difference necessarily with a 40-year-old and a 15-year-old it is, but like I feel like it's more about the life arena than the age difference. Because, like, people are, like, mature at different rates and, like, know different things, whatever, to an extent, like, a reasonable extent. But I feel like if you're 40, you're thinking about, like, you're starting to put money in retirement. You probably have already had kids. You're, like, you know, you're, like, moving into, like, the later phase of your life, you know? Not that you're, like, old, necessarily, but, like, your priorities are different than a 20-year-old.
Yeah, you are established in some ways.
Yeah.
Like,
so even if it's like the legality isn't even the problem for me necessarily. It's like, how are you comfortable with being with someone so much less experienced and more naive and easy to take advantage of?
Easy to control. Because they're easy to control.
Like, it's gross. Like, get the fuck away. Like, ew.
Mad gross.
So anyway, it takes place in 2000. She's 15, and then it like jumps every other chapter. Will be 2000 to 2017 as a 32-year-old.
Okay.
Like, the Me Too movement's happening. Like, a classmate of hers comes out about being molested by him.
Okay.
And like.
This is intense.
Yeah, it's such a good book. It's fiction, but it's like very realistic and like very easy to relate to. And she's like trying to grapple with what this relationship actually was, because she was with him basically until she was like in her 20s. Yeah. And then was still in contact with him until she was in her until 32, you know? Mm-hmm. And it explores the themes of like coercion and consent and how far people are willing to go to convince themselves of something that's not true to avoid having to accept a painful truth.
Oh yeah.
And you watch her like side by side as a 15-year-old and a 30-year-old, her thought processes, and you're like, as an adult I can see exactly what's happening. Mm-hmm. To this child, but like when I was 15, I would have done exactly what she did. Oh, you couldn't tell me shit, yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know how we even got on this topic, but like, oh yeah, Juno. Yeah. I don't know. It was a really good book. Triggering, but good.
Heard.